Good evening, RBC and RBAA fans. It is myself, A. Schlemmer, along with,
Car Mushroom 2.
and we are in the first segment of this podcast going to bring you the mock draft for GameSet number 4. So, we did a few changes in the star ratings, but let's just get right to it. Who are we thinking for the number 1 pick, Carm?
I think we gotta keep Herbie at that number 1 spot.
Okay.
When you look at his stats, he's 9 for 11 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs and 17 on-target outs.
What team is Herbie on again?
Colts.
I lost him. Okay, yeah.
Colts. And I mentioned last week that Herbie was behind Plasma Shark in on-target outs, and he's 1 game behind. And now that we're 1 game set ahead, Herbie has 4 more on-target outs to Plasma. Herbie has 17, and Plasma has 13. And what I mentioned last week about Herbie being able to, take that number 1 spot on target outs, he managed to do that. And because of that, I think he stays at that number 1 position.
Yeah, and even though he did go 2 for 4 in his last game, he did something that kind of made me surprised streaming the game. So basically what happened was he got out in his first 2 at-bats, and he came back and then he hit a 2-run home run in his next AB. So if there's any way to make up for going 0 for 2, it's hitting a dinger and getting back in there. So yeah, I could agree we could keep Herbie at the number 1 spot.
I mean, also teams definitely going to value outfield play. It's, being able to have a quick, solid reaction time is not something that comes easy and naturally, but it does for Herbie, so.
All right,
at this number 2 spot, we definitely have, some questionable argument that we can have.
Yeah, we got 5 stars. We got Zeus Mystery, PK,
Pokemon,
newly upgraded 5-star Star, and I believe those are the only other 3.
I don't know if Star would be that number 2 pick. I mean, yes, he's a very strong offensive player, but, if you want to talk about offense, Zeus Mystery, though, he did have an off game. I mean, it's important to remember that he was super strong in his first couple of games, and, in order to really say that he would drop down, in my opinion, I think he would need to have, another week of poor performance to show that this past game was not just a slump.
Yeah.
So I think he would stay at the number 2 spot.
Was he 2 last? Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So we got two of the same here to start us off. All right. Now on to number 3.
Now, this one could definitely be a hard one to pick. Pokemon is the defensive guy in the outfield, but while Star is the offensive, so...
Who's the team that we're picking for? This is Mac?
Yeah, so it's going to be a question of, do they want that offense or defense?
Well, let me grab Mac's.
I mean, their current roster currently consists of some already solid outfielders.
Yeah, they already have 2 of the top outfielders in the league in Alex and Twardle, along with Ashton Champion, who is the starting center fielder for Omaha in Season 8. I really think they're going to be focusing on hitting for their core.
So then, yeah, I think Star would take this number 3 spot. That's a relatively big jump considering, we're into GameSet, or we just got done with GameSet 4 and heading into GameSet 5, and he managed to jump 3 spots. I don't really think that there are going to be too many guys playing right now who are jumping those 3 spots.
Then that basically means we have to put PK at number 4 again.
Yeah, I mean, he's been ridiculously consistent in his placement. In every single mock draft, he's been in the fourth pick spot, except for last week where he managed to climb up to 3rd.
I think a big reason the Wildcats did not win tonight was because PK wasn't there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was the coach for Newport, and it's pretty nice winning 7-0, but, in the outfield, they really struggled to make those consistent plays. Like, there were a few balls that just went over Imperius Delta's head, and, if Pokemon was there, he definitely would have been able to make those plays, and That could have saved them like 4 or 5 runs in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or like more like 3, because I remember that there was like a 2-run home run, another home run in the first. Like you can't stop this, but he definitely would have been able to minimize the score and help that game keep on going to the 5th.
Let's see. So the next pick is Charlotte. So that's my pick. So let me think about who I'm going for here.
Well, hold on. Are
Oh
all the
wait,
five
we
stars off the
forgot.
board?
Wait, yes, all the 5s are off the board.
Okay.
But if I'm gonna base my opinion off of, I think my number 5 pick is gonna go to Hydra Slash.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he definitely is a player that managed to pick up his game a lot in previous weeks.
Well,
Today
hold on. It's a big debate between Hydra Slash, Plasma, and Mavis.
well, I mean, here's the thing: is Plasma and Mavis may have significantly more at bats, but they also do have a game more, and their team manages to cycle through their at bats more quickly compared to Newport. And if you want to look at offense again, Hydra already has 2 home runs in one less game.
Yeah.
He, on top of that, uh, he may have had 2 solo home runs, but he's producing well. He's batting at .625, and he's shown a lot of strength at the pitching mound. I know that not a lot of players from RBAA are gonna translate over into RBC pitchers, but he's definitely a guy that if you put some work into him as a project, he could definitely take a few innings on the mound. And plus, he still has a lot to show in the outfield. And your team, definitely has some good outfield coaching and can easily mold him into an outfield player
Yeah.
if need be.
And maybe even if we needed a number 5 pitcher, I think Hydra Slash would fit well in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put Hydra.
Because again, like he just has more potential in hitting all cylinders of the game over Plasma and Mavis, in my opinion.
Big jump from 10th to 5th there for Hydra Slash.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure that's the highest a Newport Seal has been in any of our previous.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Let's see who's next. Let's see. So this is West Virginia, right? So we got Squeaker, Big Slow, High Josh, Xavier.
I think this one would go hands down to Plasma purely because...
Yeah, I think he'd fit in that atmosphere much better than Mavis could.
And on top of that, Mavis, he's shown a lot of potential in the outfield, but West Virginia, in my opinion, is going to be looking for players who already have defined themselves in the outfield, and that's Plasma.
I'm pretty sure this is the lowest a Reaver has gone in the first round.
No, Mavis was the lowest last week. Mavis was the 8th overall.
Let's see. So my next big picks are gonna be Mavis and Dugiosa.
Yeah. Well, looking at the stats right now,
he did get a big home run in the last game.
Doogie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be Dugiosa's right now because he simply is just batting better.
Well, okay. If you look at these two teams, Cougars are gonna go. I know for a fact. Spartan told me that if Mavis is still on the board when he comes up to pick, he's picking him.
All right, so then I think it's just gonna go to Mavis, and then Bullets will go with Dugiosa's.
Yeah. So Mavis goes up 1 pick to 7. And Doogie goes down from 4 to 8.
Yeah. And that's where Duke actually sat there in week 1 of our GameSet 1 of our mock draft, so he's returning back to his spot. And on top of that, yeah.
What team is Duke on?
Wow, Mariachi. Look at that. Except excluding the first 2 players, every other pick has been every odd pick has been a up position, and every odd pick has gone down.
Oh, that's funny. All right. So let's see. Who else are we looking at here? Past Mavis and Doogie.
Looking at the stats.
4 stars we got, in no particular order, we got Ace, a cool boy, Beartriz,
Yeah, Beatrice.
Doog, Tough
Tough
Stuff.
Stuff.
Or no, we already got Doog. Just Tough Stuff.
Uh,
And
Robert.
Robert Kirkman, and I'm pretty sure that's everybody.
Yeah.
Let me think. Who's it's the Bullets pick, right?
Yeah.
Who did we have around here last? We had ASO7. We had. I think Beartriz is somebody we're definitely gonna have to put pretty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at this right now, I think, Mavis is a player that has potential to grow.
We already
On
got Mavis,
batting
didn't we?
stance. I don't disagree that we. Oh wait, they had Dukio at 8. My bad, I misread that. So Dukio is an outfield-ish or more batting. So I think they're gonna try and target the most outfield-based player
That would be
that's left.
Beartriz, right?
Yeah, so I think that they could definitely go with Beatrice on this one.
Okay.
And he sat 7th last week.
Mm-hmm. So that on the biscuits. Up now is the Cougars. They got Mavis for batting and auxiliary outfield. So who do you think they'd be looking for this time around? You think they'd go for ASO7 for pitching?
I think they could definitely go for pitching. I mean, when you look at their pitching unit right now, it's not looking like a super solid one. Right now it'd be Juice, Reckless, and Chris or Smart.
Yeah.
But Smart dropped off a little bit in his pitching last season. Reckless hasn't been, as efficient as he used to be, and their main pitcher would just be Jude. So I think they're definitely going to want someone that they can work with and create a reliable relief pitcher, closing pitcher. So I think Ace could definitely be a good fit there.
Okay. You think we're putting Ace at the number 9 or the number 10 slot?
Yeah, and he drops down one spot from the number 9.
Ace is on what team?
He is on River City.
Okay. So let's see who else we got. Okay. So we got 4 stars. We got a Cool Boy, Crappuccino. We already got Bear. So we got a Cool Boy, Crappuccino, Tough Stuff 10, Josh Martin. Oh, Josh Martin is definitely somebody I want to look into soon because he performed quite well today.
Josh Martin.
Robert Kirkman. Yeah.
Did you say Josh Martin?
Not for this pick.
Because he got clobbered today.
On the mound, yes.
But
that wasn't really as much fault of his own as it was his outfield.
He does not have any outfielding stats except for one error, so
yeah.
To me, that
maybe
really hard
a little bit lower, yeah.
It makes it really hard to say that he would even get on this week, considering there were definitely players that showed up this week and showed some value.
Perhaps. So let's see who else we got. Tough Stuff is a name I want to call soon.
Yeah. Actually, I think.
Tough Stuff would definitely go to Ohio if we made it down that low.
I think. Well, I'm looking at the West Virginia team right now, and Squeaker's gone. Bixlow is barely gonna show. Hi, Josh and Xavier are not the 2 biggest named outfielders. I honestly think that Tough Stuff could go right now.
Yeah, I think
the 11th pick.
I think we could do that.
And he would make a really solid outfield with Plasma.
I believe he's the first new pick in this round.
Yes.
And he's with Mariachi, I believe. All right. So, my pick again. Who am I going for? All right.
Oh crap. Dad.
I think if I was in this position... Oh yeah, we can't have Cappuccino on here because of inactivity. They still haven't shown. Let's see. ASOS set... Alright, a cool boy. Got a
I'm
cool
back.
boy.
I had my dad's car keys in my pocket by accident, so I had to go give it back to him.
Got you.
Um,
We just got a cool boy and Robert Kirkman as 2 stars left.
you mean 4 stars?
Yeah, 4
left?
stars, my bad.
So Robert and the cool boy.
I think Robert is going to go much better with Charlotte's scheme.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know your team best, but I was gonna say, if you're looking statistically, I think a cool boy is the choice here, but
Well, actually, now that you say, a cool boy definitely. Last round I was like, a cool boy get more hits, and he was like, okay, and then he got some hits. So now that you say that, I think that a cool boy should go 12.
And on top of that, I think that speaks to his work ethic too.
Yeah.
We said a cool boy, he's got to go out, get some more hits, improve it, and he did. So I think if you were playing in RBC and that came up, he would just work hard and try and fulfill on what the critics are saying about him.
So for 4 stars, I believe that only leaves
Robert
Kirkman.
The question is, would he go to Ohio? Like, would Ohio even think about drafting him?
I think Ohio would go for Robert. Robert's a 3-star. I feel like he's definitely going to go up in star rating come next.
The question is Aubert an old gen player?
Yes, Aubert is very much an old gen player.
So then yes, he would go there.
Yeah.
And then Robert
is going down 1 pick from last round.
Yes.
Or going down 2 picks from last round. Aubert is a new addition. I believe another Lynchburg player. Not Lynchburg. Mariachi player. Mariachi seemed to be the old gen, I suppose, hostile in RBAA.
Looking at Nash right now, last week we had, we're done with the 4 stars here, so now we're looking at the 3-star players. And in my opinion, I might have a little bit of bias here, but Detroit Red Wings fan, I think would go here.
Wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is Bullet's pick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that we only had 1 pick.
Yeah. Bullet's
but
pick.
Regardless, I still think Detroit would go here because same thing like a cool boy. We told a cool boy go out and get some more hits, and we said the same thing with Detroit. Like he needs to go and show some more consistency with the bat, and that's exactly what he did.
What team is he on? Is he on Newport?
Yeah. Whoa! No way. No way.
First time Newport has had more than 1 player on the list at any point in time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so for our last pick, let's see who has fallen significantly. So we had Foxconn on here. He has dropped to a 3-star due to his batting.
In that case, I think Foxconn could.
He could. Then we got. Well, let's look at the 3 stars we have left.
Because there's a huge array of 3 stars for sure.
Like some big name 3 stars I'm seeing are Simply Cole. Maybe even Real Epic Gamer or Hyro, but Hyro's not batting too hot.
I think a name that the chat might definitely be questioning. I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I think they might be questioning Dre Roldan, and for me personally, I don't think he would make it because since GameSet 1, his batting has continued to go down, and teams want batting for their team. They don't want a guy that can just go on the mound and strike some players out in RBAA because it's not going to translate well over to RBC.
Yeah.
Every pitcher in RBAA is going to be a project for each RBC team, saying that they take one.
Yeah.
So they're really going to focus on a player who can naturally play outfield and naturally hit the ball, because then that means less work that they're gonna have to put into those players.
All right.
And
Well, yeah, I agree. I don't think we should include Dre this week, but two big players, two big 3-stars that I think we should definitely look into are I County Laws and Foxconn. I County Laws is they both have the exact same batting average, but County Laws had that clutch solo home run to tie the game for his team. While they still
which team is
lost,
County Laws?
he
Or
had that home run.
who are you between right now?
County
County
Laws,
Laws.
Foxconn, and maybe what other 3-stars are there?
Kira.
Yeah, I think it's got to be between. Oh, and Unoxen might be a name to look into.
I think he's a player to look. I think he would be a player to look at, but I don't think he's proven himself
Oh,
enough.
this is the last pick. So yeah, it's between Foxconn and I County Laws.
I think he would go to Foxconn here purely because of the they're very similar and they're playing right now, but I think it would go to Foxconn just because he has more time.
Yeah, and then we can put County Laws and
Kicker. Here, let's just do that first, and then we'll do the fall offs, and then we'll do the players to look at. I think we should just do that. Stay on one thing at a time.
Well, I mean, I already know who I'm saying is Unoxen and County Laws.
Hey, look at that! We got ourselves on the board 3 times this week, all in good positions that don't include fall offs. Yo, for my Seals watching this right now, I'm proud of you guys. That's some good stuff right there.
County Laws is on biscuits.
Oh no, I actually agree. I think someone to watch is also Brian.
Brian Cruz 2020.
Yeah, because he had a huge 3-run home run. It's Brian Cruz 30.
Oh, I really did think it was Brian Cruz 2020. Has he been on the list before?
Yeah, he was on it week 1.
What was his number?
He was 16.
He's on who? Newport?
Newport, yeah. Oh my God, 4 times? You guys are crazy.
Anybody else we'd like to look out for? I don't really see anybody.
Well, you just said
I mean, I want to see Hyro, but he hasn't been performing too good. Oh, Simply Cole is somebody we should add on here.
Yeah, because I remember you said another name, but I couldn't think of exactly that you mentioned. I also think Justin is a name to watch right now. He bumped himself up to go 2-2 this week, but he's only got 2 games, so I think he's definitely a player to watch to see if he's gonna improve.
So, what was Simply was on the list at one point, right?
Simply Cole.
Yeah, he was 13 in round 1 and dropped off after that.
Yeah, Simply Cole also.
Justin is on River City.
Yeah.
And then
Simply's on Wildcats.
Yeah.
Let me just do one last quick run through of.
Then who are the drop-offs for this round?
The drop-offs for this week was Imperious Delta,
who has left the league, I believe.
Yeah, we kept his stats though because he left in a fit of rage. So if he comes back, then we don't want to have lost all of his stats.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Martin fell off this week.
Wait, what was it? Was Imperious?
And Josh Martin.
It's just Imperious and Josh? No, there's got to be one more.
Dre rolled in.
Oh, yeah.
All 3 of the last 3 picks from last week, or last GameSet mock draft, all fell off this week.
Makes sense. So it was 14, 15, and 16?
Yeah. And Imperious and Josh were both on.
No, wait, no. Oh, wait, that's round 2. Imperious, Josh, and Dre. Okay. Okay. Alright, so that's the mock draft. So, I guess we can now start the actual podcast. So, wait, hold on. I need to get Foxconn real quick. He was 11th on biscuits, and he has fallen. So, let's see. There were 3 new guys this week, which is actually higher than last week. There was only 1 last time, and it was Bear Triz. So, congratulations to our new people, Tough Stuff, Aubert, and Detroit Red Wings fan.
I think this is the first week. Yeah, this is the first week where we don't have a new entry coming into the first round.
Mm-hmm. The only person in the first round who's new to the first round is Hydra Slash.
Yeah.
And then Beatriz is the only person who left the first round, and he only dropped to number 9.
I mean, and even so, like, even if he was at that number 8 spot, it's the same team. So to me, that number 8 and number 9 spot are equivalent to each other.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's the mock draft. So next thing up, I think, is just mid-season analysis of everything in the RBAA. So.
I mean, how do you want to do that? Do you want to talk about the players, the teams as a whole, the coaching?
I'll switch our visual over to our podcast slide, but I think we should just hit it all because we haven't really done any big podcast on the league really at all since it started.
All right.
So.
I think to start off, we'll go with Newport just because they're first on the stat sheet, but I mean, I think you should talk about the coaching and what you think of it so far, and then I can go more in depth and describe the players that I'm seeing.
Okay, so Newport started off under the direction of 22 fan and Jonathan Howard. Jonathan Howard proved to be a disastrous coach and led them to their first game where they lost 14-0, of no fault of the players themselves. After this, ownership was transferred, and they've come back and they're now 2-2 under the direction of you, Carm,
yes,
and the 22 fan with help from Yifan Giant and Rockefeller.
Actually, I have to make a quick announcement. 22 fan is no longer a coach. He asked me earlier today to release him as a coach. So
nice, love that.
We are looking for a new head coach.
All right, so big players on this roster that I see are Hydra Slash, but it seems that a lot of the players on this team kind of work together, and it seems to be a pretty flowing lineup, as we saw in the Knights last season, where every player has the ability to be decent, with a couple guys punctuating that. So go ahead and say your bit.
So looking at the players, I think each player definitely has their own personality to them. When I first came into them, no offense to them, I fucking love you guys. I fudging love you guys now. Because all you guys have been very charismatic, and you always keep your heads held high. And you guys keep working, and I think that was something that was missed out on and not capitalized in that first game because Brian Cruz, he definitely was a project to start, but he's really shown himself. He's the only other player on our team besides Hydra who has a home run. Pinhead Larry, he may not have a hit yet, but he is definitely one of the characters on the team. Someone that, everybody's talking to, everybody loves to interact with. Detroit and Hydra are both 2 players that, in our first practice, really put themselves out there, in my opinion. And Hydra Slash, surprisingly, was not my first option for starting pitcher. I didn't even pitch him in our first practice, but Detroit couldn't show up to the first game. So I was like, all right, Hydra, you asked him to pitch, and I said, all right, you're in. And, the rest is history from that point. And he did really well. Uno, Count, Skinny, High Side. Uno was definitely one of the big fielders that I saw when I came to the team, and the rest of them are all contributing in their own way, and the team has done very well thus far, and I'm happy to see the effort they put in. So
yeah, all right. So that's Newport. Now let's look at Concord. Concord kind of Okay, so they started off under Tornado. That lasted for about 2 games, or maybe even one. They won their opening day game against the Biscuits in
Yeah,
dramatic
it was one
fashion.
game. One game.
Yeah. Dre Ralden and a couple other guys led that team. But then it came under the direction of Aqua for 1 or 2 games, and then he
One
got
game.
he got kicked out due to what did he
Being
do again?
toxic. He
General
shut down the
toxicity.
server. He shut
And
down
oh
the
yeah,
server.
admin abuse. That was the main charge.
Yeah.
Some big charges against Aqua. He was removed from ownership, and now we're under Felix Peep. And then in the first game since then, half of the team said, "Nah, I'm out."
Yeah,
So
what happened with that? Because I wasn't there to see what happened. So,
I'm, well, I know they lost. Yeah, they lost 9-2. They ended up forfeiting in the fourth inning, but Concord basically the teams kind of rage quit, and it seemed that a bunch of the players began demanding release. So Felix was just like, "Bye." Um, so this team is definitely in a different direction now. They still have Herbie, which is very good. They have Herbie, Starr, and Robert Kirkman are the 3 main guys on this
yeah.
team now.
And I also think, those, in my opinion, those are the biggest guys regarding their offensive capabilities. And I think with
Yeah.
the smaller roster, outside of them, the only players that have shown up to more than one game is really U10 and Epic Gamer. But with the smaller roster, Star, Robert, and Herbie are all going to get some more at bats, and hopefully that can help push their offensive production.
Yeah. And moving on to the Wildcats, this team was, I believe, initially under the direction of Arcadian Delta.
Yes.
They were handed over to VX Parker after the first game, where
And
you can take this one.
they lost the first game, 5-4 against Monterey. Then they won their next game 4-3 against Concord. And after that, it's really just been a downhill slope for them. They lost game 3 7-2 after some issues where they just ended it in the third. Also, our game ended it after 3 because we just hit the third inning. Or do you mark that as 2?
I marked it as 2.
Okay. And then today, 7-0 by the time we reached the top of the third, and they really gave up after that, essentially. Now they're sitting with the worst record in the league, 1-3.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold up.
Hmm?
No way.
What?
We're the only team that beat Monterey?
I believe so.
Wow.
All right. So
That's my boys.
yeah. Now on to first place overall, Monterey Mariachi. They have been under the direction of Bag all season, with Broken as their head coach. They got a few. This seems to be the old gen team. Aubert, Tough Stuff, and Doog are definitely all old gen names. I'm pretty sure JP Copsum is from either Row Hockey or some old gen league. He's definitely been around Row Sports for a while now.
You know what's really surprising to me though?
Hmm.
They don't have one person that just is the face of the team.
Yeah.
If you look at their stats right now, they have the lowest batting average out of any team in the league.
Yeah.
Yet they're still the number 1 team in terms of record. And to me, I think that just shows where they may lack, they manage to work together to get something else done. If like one guy will hit a home run, or someone will have a good eye and get on base.
Yeah.
When they have few opportunities, but when they do get those opportunities, they really manage to maximize them. So.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking into. Tough and Doog are 2 guys that, maybe even Aubert, those 3 are definitely some guys that I'm gonna keep watching as a scout, and especially with this outfielding that they have, it's definitely attention grabbing. Now on to the Bakersfield Biscuits. They've been under the ownership of 3D Model the entire season, with VX Alex as head coach. What do we think of them?
I think they're a pretty solid team. That first game was a bit iffy for them, but since then they've managed to fix up their game, especially after Purdy left from production by Zeus. who's shown up to the past 3 games and has been one of the most dominant players in the league, as well as County Laws, who has really shown himself as a player to keep your eyes on. Foxconn yeah, has also played well. And I think the big thing to really hone in on is, I think, yeah, um, they are currently the only team with 2 teammates who have over 5 on-target outs.
Huh.
So that shows how dynamic their outfield is, and and they can get a play done there. So I think that
Yeah.
really shows the strength their outfield has, and to which is no surprise. Their head coach is Alex, and he's definitely managed to help install some good work ethic in there.
Yeah, and I personally am very glad that this team did not just kind of collapse after the Hurdy Brown incident of Game 1.
Yeah, I think that was a big concern that all of us had. What are they going to do from here?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the appearance of Zeus Mystery was a godsend for them.
For
Just
sure.
make sure that the team didn't die. But County Laws showing up in these past 2 games has been good for them. Foxconn has been a pretty decent, reliable guy for them. Beatrice has been showing up a little bit more in these past few games. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the remainder of the season.
I think like their star is Zeus, and those main guys that aren't like excelling. I don't want to. They're excelling compared to the rest of the league, but not like faces that they can count on every single each moment. Guys that you rely on if you got a guy on second, you need a hit. If you're in a clutch moment, they'll produce.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Bakersfield Biscuits. They're one of the better teams in my eyes. Now, on to the River City Reavers. This team on paper is by far the best team in the league.
Yeah.
During games, however, they can't really seem to string it together. And something can be said about ring chasing in development leagues that can turn away coaches, and I personally am definitely feeling a little bit of this, especially towards the people who came to River City after being on other teams.
For sure. When I saw that happen, I was like, why? Like, there are definitely some other teams that on paper could have used those.
And while I
guys.
agree, AJ is one of, if not the best coach of all of the owners in this league, when there's this many players, he can't really coach as effectively as you can if there's less.
Yeah, I think AJ is more of like a one-on-one type of coach where he has more time with each player, he really improves them. But I think the coaches that work better just with a big team, providing the basics to each player, and then the players.
But something interesting that I've found is that the players who have been with River City the whole season, as in like Plasma, Mavis, ASO7, I'm pretty sure a Cool Boy's been there the whole time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those guys seem to perform better than the guys who come up later. Like Dre, since he's came to River City, is like 1 for 8. His batting has been not great, and he hasn't had any chances on the mound with this team because he's competing for mound time with Plasma, a Cool Boy, and Ace, 3 of the most competitive pitchers in the league. So, something I don't think, for Dre personally, I don't think River City was the right choice. I think if he wanted to leave Concord, he should have gone to Lynchburg.
I agree with you 100% on that one,
I feel like Dre on River City is just going to fade away into the 3rd round extra picks if we even get that far.
For sure, I'm with you there, because when he was on Concord, he was the main face of their defense when he was on the mound. But now to me, it's like if you take Joe Burrow's career in college and just reverse it from being, that big star on LSU to transferring to Ohio and then just becoming the backup. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I kind of feel what you're saying.
I feel like he just took a step back there. When he really could have gone to another team that would have given him some more support, but also would have definitely focused on him as a huge mainstream focus for them. But,
Yeah.
it's his choice at the end of the day.
So yeah, we're now 50% through this season, and it's very close. I mean, okay, something has happened where the RBC board said we're shortening the RBAA season. So in response to this, the RBAA has elected to allow every team into the playoffs, which is going to lower the competitiveness of the regular season a bit, which is a good thing, in all honesty.
Yeah. Because I agree with you there, because the entire point is being able to focus on development.
Yeah.
But when you're highlighting that, a team isn't going to make the playoffs, it's like,
Yeah.
then it creates a competitive nature to be the best team.
Yeah.
That's not the focus of this.
And we're honestly, being a number 2 or a 3 seed team can help you as a player, because that means you're getting more games in stat-wise for scouts to watch. Because I feel like scout attendance at the RBAA Championship series, at the RBAA Championship tournament, is going to be very high. I would be shocked if we didn't have at least one representative from at least half of the RBC teams at each and every one of these games.
I think every team is going to send one except for Ohio, which is definitely, in the class.
That's Ohio.
I mean, they're one of the teams that nobody really knows is happening because it's smogging,
Yeah. And something interesting that I feel like is going to slightly influence. Oh, yeah, but I think something that is going to slightly influence these players in the playoffs is the fact that they are going to be playing at RBC stadiums.
Yeah.
We made it a big point to have these playoff games at RBC stadiums because this is I would equate the pressure of the RBAA championship to the pressure of a regular season game in the RBC. And I feel like the stadium environment kind of agrees with that to an extent.
For sure. I think, when you look at an RBAA stadium, it really feels like a minor league stadium, There's not a ton to it. There's no outside city to it. It's just a small stadium with 2 levels, usually, with an exception for River City, who has 3.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, it doesn't extend into the outfield, It's just like a very small thing. It's not very highly detailed in its features.
Yeah.
But then when you go to an RBC stadium and you're just standing at the plate or you're standing in the outfield, you're like, wow, this is way bigger.
It's the difference between standing in the center field of Concord, just looking out at the tiny 2-deck stadium, and standing in center field of Suncrest Field with the biggest bowl and the highest capacity in the RBC.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think it's gonna be. But I think the biggest thing that I'm excited to see is who's going to be able to, match up to that pressure and who's going to be affected by it the most.
Yeah. And I feel like scouts are going to look at that. While I'm pretty sure we're not taking stats in the playoffs, I feel like scouts are definitely going to pay attention to players and see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Because if a player just performs well in the regular season and then just dies off in the playoffs, I feel like scouts are going to notice that. And maybe... Because I feel like the first round picks are going to be solid or cemented in pretty solid before the playoffs, but I feel like some of those extra picks in the second round are going to be up for grabs. And I'm fully expecting the RBC draft, as in the RBC half of the draft, to only be 2 rounds. While the board will likely announce something in relation to that relatively soon.
Yeah. And on top of that, I think, while you did mention the impact that an RBC stadium might have, I think it's definitely important to realize that, I think the scouts will also realize, it's like just, first game jitters, never having, because players may have gone to the stadiums and been inside them and seen them, but it really does not match up to the feeling of playing like a game where it's tied 4-4 going into the 5th. It doesn't match up to it at all.
And honestly, I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a similar feeling to like your very first Road to the Show character in MLB, and finally making it to the majors after like a few hours of playing.
I don't have a PS4. Can you relate it to us Xbox users?
Can't really, because there aren't really any other good sports games.
You mean like 2K when you finally make it out of the G League and the Chinese League and you're finally balling in the NBA?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Got you, Chief. Nah, I get it.
Yeah, it's a really cool feeling, and I feel like the rookies are already excited to just step out onto an RBC field for the first time, even if it is just for the minor league championships.
Yeah.
But I guess we can now take some questions from the chat if you guys have any, as we customarily do during our podcast. So, chat, feel free to send us some questions, and we will answer them as they come. But do you have anything else for just everything else in the podcast?
Again, I think I'm just really excited to see how these players play can transform into or translate to RBC. Every draft has those sleepers, and I'm curious to see who that's gonna be. Whether it comes in rounds that aren't even on the mock draft, I'm curious to see who's gonna end up being that sleeper that nobody realized was gonna be able to shoot out and be a top player.
Yeah, following these draft picks is going to be a lot more interesting this season than in past seasons because we actually have some expectations. In the past, the rookie draft in RBC has kind of been somewhat of a joke, to be entirely honest. It's just kind of been people who showed up and went to a couple combines and showed some decent promise, but...
Yeah.
Oh, another thing for RBAA players transitioning to the RBC is the combines that the RBC is going to host prior to the draft.
Should I touch up on that because I introduced it?
Yeah. So
Alright.
how are you going to do it? Are you going to invite a certain number of players, or is it going to be a come one, come all?
So yeah, what I'm thinking right now is the players that are standing in the mock draft, the latest mock draft before we stop them. Those players and the ones that are on the to watch list will all be invited to a specific server. I think what we're gonna do is, the round one guys at one stadium, round two guys at another stadium with ones to look at, and I think, the board will split themselves up into those two games, and we'll set just certain things that we're gonna do. So, for example, like what we could do is, in the NBA, for example, they'll have you take like 5 shots from close range, for example, 5 moving shots from close range, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more than 5, but what we would do, for example, is, have them play 5 balls from left field, 5 balls from center field, 5 balls from right field, 5 plays from shortstop, 5 plays like where they're receiving at first base. Then they could get like 3 pitchers or 3 at bats, like 3 batters to pitch to, if they want to be considered a pitcher. And then also a few times just swinging the bat, seeing this may sound dumb because there isn't like a speed thing, but just their time running around the bases, because I think there's a big time discrepancy where you are if you're not turning in a correct way, where you're spending time physically turning your character to turn, that can take time off. But being able to just quickly get yourself, because in my opinion, that 1 second can make a huge difference in you being able to get to first to second on a hit.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be something that teams are going to want to recognize. They're going to want someone that can quickly, get to the next base and pick up some extra bases for them and hopefully get them a run.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed a couple guys. Who was it on the game the other day? With, I'm pretty sure it was the walk-off. Who won by walk-off? Was it Concord? I'm pretty sure it was.
I have no clue. I wasn't at the.
Yeah, I think it was the Concord walking off against the Seals on, I think it was Tuesday. No, it was Wednesday. Concord walking off against the Seals on Tuesday. I don't remember who it was on Concord. Let me check. I gave them player of the game. I remember that specifically. Oh, I didn't announce that player of the game. Nice.
Did you
wait, no,
announce
no,
today's
I
player
did.
of the game?
Hold on. It was.
Wow, I
Who was
shouldn't even announce
James?
today's player of
Whoever
the game.
username of
Wait, you
James
did.
is. They got a great jump off third base and ended up winning them the game. If they had not gotten that jump, they would have been out. So I feel like it's just something big.
Yeah, I think definitely the combine is gonna highlight those basic skills like pitching, batting, and fielding, but I definitely also wanted to focus on those intangibles. How are people interacting with each other? What are they saying when someone messes up at the plate? Like, are they saying like, "Bro, why are you swinging at that?" Like, if they're just being toxic about it, because that's also something that coaches are gonna look at. And I think what I definitely want to do is have uh each server with the board members running it all have one server will have their document, but the other server will have theirs, and the people the board members in each server I think should be taking notes because there's some things that you just can't record
Yeah.
through stats, but they're also things. But I mean, and those things are also what separates a good player from a great player.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start getting to these questions. So opinions on Doog is our first thing. Doog, batting 500, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, lots of RBIs. Came in clutch for Monterey in multiple games. I mean, your batting average isn't the highest in the league, but I definitely see you being drafted just due to the fact that you're one of the highest counts of RBIs in the league, if not the highest, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure 7 is the
Yeah,
most anybody has. Or no,
no,
Mavis has
Star had
9. That's
and
something that
Star
we've
Star
kind of slept
has
on.
8. Star had 8.
Yeah, so like the third highest
So
RBIs.
yeah,
You're definitely a name to look into. And while you don't have any outfielding stats, I know for a fact you're a good outfielder. So
yeah.
definitely a
I
name to
mean,
look out in this draft.
yeah, and plus also the combine will definitely be a time for teams that may just be looking straight up at stats. That's also definitely a time to show them, I can do more than
Yeah,
that.
I feel
I
like
can do more than hitting.
Doog and Mavis, both of their stocks are going to increase at the draft because they're two left fielders that have very high outfielding skill.
For
Whereas
sure.
where they don't get the spotlight, and since a lot of kids in this league just hit center, they don't really get many opportunities to field. But
Yeah.
Mavis is, in my opinion, the best left fielder in the RBAA.
I'm 100% gonna agree with you. Like you just said, not a lot of players are able to hit to left field or right field. But if you put them into an RPC setting where players are hitting it left field, right field, center field, being able to place the ball where they want, I think they're definitely going to be able to shine and show their talents.
Yeah. Um. Let's see. Next question: is Brian the true GOAT? No.
Uh, I
PK.
mean, I mean, I heard him say "bye" a couple of times, so he may be a goat.
PK says Lynchburg needs me to score field. Um, and he's the best outfielder in the league if he had a first baseman.
Wait, where's that?
In chat.
I honestly 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Cause if you look at his on-target saves,
He has
it's
7.
at 7, and that's a mix of uh, I definitely counted some on-target saves for him. With a ball simply just went through the first baseman. The first baseman just wasn't there, and if you take all those 7 and put them into his on-target outs, he would be tied with Herbie. But I think his errors too, also could equate to some first baseman issues. I, I agree with that he could easily be the best outfielder if he had a true first baseman.
PK says he's the most important asset to any team in the RBA. Without him, they would struggle. I mean, they did
I
struggle
disagree.
today, but I mean that can be said for a lot of people in this league.
I The reason why I disagree is because I'm not gonna argue with you being the most vital part to Lynchburg because you are.
Yeah.
The thing is that you didn't play for the other teams, so you can't prove your value to them because Monterey's 3-1, Bakersfield is 2-2, Newport's 2-2, River City's 2-2.
Yeah.
They're showing that they can do stuff without you anyway.
Mhm. Next thing. Who is top 10
Top
pitchers?
five, top 5 pitchers.
I don't really like rating pitchers in the RBAA, but if we had to go by statistics,
I'll do it because I love
ASO
the
7,
Ninjas.
and this is in no particular order. This is ASO 7, Dre
Hold on, hold on,
Roldan,
hold on, hold on, hold on.
Hyro, JP Copsum,
Hydra Slash,
Hydra Slash,
Detroit.
and Detroit. Yeah, and that's basically it.
Alright, you
Those are
want me to just do it
the
because
big name
I'll actually
pitchers.
give them
Yeah,
the top
you can
five.
go ahead and do it.
Alright. Well, first off, I think so. In regards to Ace and the Cool Boy, I think it's important to recognize, they have a strong outfield with them. So, their ERA is going to be low. But in order, I think it's going to have to be Dre Roldan first because, when he didn't even have, even though he didn't have a strong outfield, he still has the lowest WHIP in ERA, or one of the lowest. Um, and he did have a. Actually, wait. Looking at it, no, it would be a Cool Boy number one because he's shown that even with a strong outfield, he's able to produce himself. He's got 2.63 as his KIP, so that's saying a lot about his ability to, face up against any batter and still get a strikeout.
Yeah.
Next, I would have to say Hydra Slash or Ace. I think they're tied for 2 and 3. I mean, I think they're tied, but they would take up that 2 and 3 spot. Because Ace is like Squeaker last season. He's a pitcher that really functioned well with a good outfield, but we haven't seen him with a poor outfield, so we can't really make that determination yet. But Hydra Slash showed, he's playing more like me. Because I mean, I may be a trainer, but I think last season where he's a very K focused pitcher. Then next I would have Dre Roldan 4, and then Detroit 5.
Yeah.
Whoa! Yankee with no.
Stop, Chris.
Tag
Oh my
Begley.
God.
What is your username? Okay. And here's something from Joshua Martin, also known as Limited Delta. Lynchburg is going to be training now every day for at least 2 hours since their stats are going down. I suppose that's a way to react to a 2-inning 7-0 loss. I could agree with I could generally agree with that.
Yeah. Who do you think will win the RBAA championship, and who would win the championship MVP? I don't think we can determine that.
Yeah,
There's
honestly,
no one.
everyone can beat everyone. At least that's what we've seen so far. Teams are making resurgences, teams are falling down. Teams could make a U-turn in a game. Like, we really don't know at this point. That's why we didn't include a power rating in this stream.
It's so mishmash because, for example, Monterey has beaten every single team they played except for Newport. They beat here, let me look at this quickly. They beat Lynchburg.
After next series, everyone will have played everyone.
Yeah. But again, my point is that like Monterey beat Bakersfield and they also beat River City. But Newport lost to River City too. Like every team can, do something against every team. There's no one team that's clearly dominant over the other. It really shows up to it really ends up to, who shows that day for that team.
Yeah. If I had to make a guess on who our finals are going to be, my guess, as of right now, how the teams are led, how the teams are acting, and their trends, I'm saying Newport versus River City.
I agree with that.
It's a tough one. It's a tough call to make, but
I think the biggest. My bad. Continue.
It could be anybody, honestly. Like, I could see Bakersfield versus Lynchburg as a feasible finals, because Lynchburg is going to put in the work and turn it around. At least they say so.
Yeah, looking at the Eastern, it's, in my opinion, again, kind of biased because I run Newport, but I think Newport would easily have a solid chance of making it because, not easily, but I think better chance than the rest of their conference because one, Lynchburg fell apart, and we haven't seen the proof yet that they're putting in the work. They say they are, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's supposed to start tomorrow.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Concord Colts, they absolutely fell apart, and there's no telling where they're going from here. They still have some solid batting, but it's a question of is that going to be enough for them to, get far? Let's see some other comments.
Doog and PK seem very confident in their ability to win, and I feel like that's definitely a feasible outcome. And honestly, I'm not saying that you're not going to win. I don't know how it's going to work, honestly. But I feel like now that the roster or the signing deadline is passing tonight at 11:59 in approximately 88 minutes right now. 78 minutes. That I feel like the teams are going to get a lot closer, and I feel like we're going to have a lot more like unity in the teams and consistency now that the teams are locking. Releases will still be allowed, but I feel like that's only going to just kind of trim out a few people.
All right, I just want to propose a scenario right here. I'm looking at my team chat right now, and Hydra's saying Newport versus River City. Let's say that was the finals. I know that we said it's very hard to be able to determine, each team, who would win and stuff. But on paper, in consideration of me owning Newport and not considering John, how do you think that would match up?
I mean, records don't really matter in my personal opinion.
I know, but no, I'm saying like Jonathan just didn't coach them at all.
I mean, if you had had a little bit more time with them, I feel like they'd be much farther now. But I feel like in the long run, it doesn't matter very much.
So I'm saying how would you see that playing out if it was Newport versus River City?
No idea, honestly. It's AJ versus you, two very experienced coaches. It's literally the the MLCS or the RLCS last season. So.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have to make that happen. I need to get my payback on AJ for that.
All right. So yeah, that could happen. Who knows? But yeah, unless there's any more, we could take one or two more questions. But I'm pretty sure we're about to wrap up here.
Lynchburg get on their feet. Oh, wow. What do you think this hot take by Duke? He says Lynchburg is better without PK.
That's cap, but okay.
And if there aren't really going to be any more questions, I want to get your thoughts on. I don't know if everybody knows about this, but my boy Jonathan Howard, he made Newport run laps and play catch. What would you guys think if your coach made you run laps?
See, I tried the play catch thing when I started owning Charlotte in season 3 when I was 13 years old, and I immediately was told, that's a bad idea. And then I was like, okay, we're not doing that again. And then we didn't do it again. And I'm shocked that Jonathan did not get that message faster.
Yeah, I mean, there's no value to it, because it's not where you're going to be throwing in a game.
Yeah.
But to say the least, for those that missed out on it, there was an RPC FurryCon. We did run some laps, and we did play catch.
Oh, yeah.
It was quite a time, to say the least.
Yeah. Oh, they made them do jumping jacks, too, apparently. In other news...
How do you do jumping jacks in Roblox? Like, what animation does that?
I'm pretty sure it would be...
E-Dance
I don't know.
2.
I think E-Dance 2 jump. I don't know. But something we're gonna start seeing is all of these players with 4 games played. Like, there's at least 2 guys on each team, except for Concord, who have at least 4 games played, who are gonna start becoming draft eligible coming up very soon. So,
Yeah.
I'm personally excited to see these players realizing that the draft is coming and that they are in the list of names that you can choose from.
Yeah, I also can't wait for teams to really start, focusing on their picks because, mock draft is a mock draft. We're not saying that it's going to be 100% accurate, but when teams start hosting private workouts and we start to see, who they're, inviting to those workouts, it becomes way, way more evident of who they're really focusing on.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see how the RBC coaches take the hype coming up to the draft. And we have Carm, I need your opinion on this. PK wants to come on the show. He wants to talk to Doog. Should we let him on the show?
Should we let them both on?
I think we should let them both on. Hold on.
All right, let's let them both on.
All right.
All right.
All right,
we'll be
PK, you need to
mediators
accept
on
my friend
this.
request.
This is about to be quite a time, to say the least.
You too, Doog. Both of you guys need to accept my friend requests. All right, they're both on. I'm creating a group DM. I'm gonna call there. All right.
Oh,
Here.
wow, is that Addison Ray?
Alright, let's see if
Whoa.
these 2 guys decided to join up. It looks like PK's here. Is Duke joining? This about to get heated.
Oh, wow.
Alright.
Oh, wow.
Alright, so you 2
Hey
gentlemen
yo,
are
what's up?
free to speak.
PK?
Try to keep the language down.
Yeah, alright, so we'll mediate this. We'll make sure that, it doesn't just turn into a yelling match. All we ask is that you just listen to us.
Hold on, one moment. I have an inside report from a player. Apparently the jumping jacks is E-cheer. Alright, now go ahead,
Oh
guys.
my god.
Can confirm each year is jumping jacks.
Yeah,
Alright.
what you gotta say, PK?
Alright. So okay, so I heard Dude said hello. Let me scroll over in the chat real quick. He said what? He don't let sorry kids on the stream? Hold up, dude. Like you trash. You know that? You trash.
PK.
Like you sorry.
1-3, man.
Yeah. I look carry the team. What you want me to do? What you want me to do in there? I'll brain dead.
You
My
can't
only
carry
boy
team
Joshua.
to
My only boy Joshua.
losses.
He my boy. What? Nah, dude, you do nothing for your team. You trash.
Bro,
You
PK.
trash. Nah, wait. What you on the mock draft, dude? Hello, what you? Nah,
I'm
yeah, that's
the
what I thought,
best
little boy.
player in the
That's what I
league,
thought, little boy.
man.
Wait, what? Hold on. What's your star rating, dude? Yeah, that's what I thought, little boy.
I'm the best player in the league.
Nah,
baby.
you trash, dude. You trash.
PK.
Wait, you haven't played RBC before? Oh, you trash, dude.
PK,
Oh,
PK,
yeah.
your boy Josh, he let up 7 runs in 2 innings today.
Nah. That's not true.
Yes, it is, dog. Bro, you can check it, bro. 2 innings and they already forfeited.
Man, all right. See, it's because I wasn't there though.
I'll give you that, bro.
All right.
But still,
no.
bro, we got 4 runs off 2 home runs anyway.
How do I get on the I need to be a coach, bro. I actually need to.
What?
My team, Parker actually is no, I actually hate Parker. I can't stand
Do you
him.
wanna
Please let me
lose
be a
out?
coach. Please let me be a coach.
PK, do you want to lose out?
No, actually, please let me be. Dude, you're actually sorry. I don't want to hear you speak no more.
Bro, PK, I'll sign you to Newport, that ass.
Literally, who's on your team?
Hydra Slash and Detroit are my 2 big name players.
Oh.
You a center fielder?
I mean, you can become our center fielder.
All right.
You play PK in center field versus us.
Alright, so you guys got a little bit over an hour to get Parker to cut you and then Carm to sign you, or else it ain't happening, because signing ends at 11:59
Actually,
today.
you know what? I signed to a team. I hope that happens because then I could just focus for the
This is one cutting out, man.
Yeah, you are cutting out, bro.
Huh?
You're cutting out.
Oh shit. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Alright.
can hear you, man.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, dude, you sorry? I'll stand to your team. Hold on, I gotta get Parker to cut me real quick. Hold up, but he won't respond to my DMs.
He's not gonna cut you, B. You're stuck.
No, that's not true. Wait, can coaches cut me too? Like,
No, it's
like
team members only.
bro, what the?
Bro, he doesn't even have a coach, bro.
Nah, we
Parker?
do.
No, Parker hit me up before and was like, "Yo, I don't have a coach. I won't be able to make it."
Nah,
So I'm
bro,
like,
we
"Bro,
have.
so no game?" And he's like, trying to figure something out.
He signed
I'm gonna
Dual
see if it's
McGinty for
done.
that purpose.
Yeah,
Oh,
doo-wop,
I didn't realize that he
doo-wop.
signed him like full on. I thought
PK,
just
PK, you can come to our team and get carried. I mean, we need a DH.
Dude, you trash. I don't want to hear. Nah, let me pull up the spreadsheet. Hold
Nah,
on,
nah,
let me pull
alright,
it
bro.
up.
Alright,
Bro,
that's
We'll take a DH.
alright.
Bro, I
That's
mean-
I'm pulling up the spreadsheet.
alright. That's
I mean, bro,
enough.
I don't know how much outfield action you're gonna get because my pitches are very like strikeout based. But
Alright.
No, I'm pulling up the spreadsheet. Hold on.
Alright.
Hold on.
Thank you two for coming. Thank you two for coming on.
Yeah, it's on my dick, dude. It's on my cock.
All right, so that's the end of that. And if we don't have any last questions, I think that's gonna be all from us today.
wow, that
was an intriguing occurrence, if I do say so myself.
was hot.
Two big names in the league looking to assert their dominance against each other.
I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do with them, bro. They're both alpha males. Like,
Oh yeah, I feel like
there's
if they
just
both,
not.
if there's a scenario in which both of them are on the same team, that would be hilarious. What
Bro,
if they go? What if they go 8 and 9 on on bullets?
Bro, no. What if a team during the draft just trades up?
That'd be crazy, bro. All right, well, yeah, that's it from us today. Thank you guys for watching the RBAA podcast. We will definitely be back for another episode, whether it is after the regular season, maybe after Game 7. It'll be at some point soon. But yeah, thank you all for watching. That's it from us today. Goodbye. Oh, wait. Be sure to like, subscribe, and to follow RBN for more Roblox baseball goodness. And be sure to watch our game streams.
I'll give you a cookie if you subscribe.
Carm will give you a cookie if you subscribe. So
Wait. Detroit says wait.
Detroit says wait. What's the question, Detroit?
Detroit, bro, you got me tripping right now, bro. You said wait and now you're not. Bro, you're really hitting me right now. You need to bring Mr. Panda on the show.
So you can talk about his tick. I don't think that's necessary.
I don't really care about his TikToks, no lie.
Alright. Alright, that's it. That's it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night.